Unmasking the Covered Me podcast. UTCM was birthed from me realizing that there is a greater me on the inside of me. The phrase "there's a greater you on the inside of you" means being above normal, understanding your worth, and being confident in knowing who you are. But the first person who has to realize that there's a greater you on the inside of you is you. In life, we all go through stages of the good, the bad, and the ugly, which leads us to our purpose and promise. UTCM is a platform where you get to share your story and your truth of unmasking moments that allows you to embrace all stages in your life. UTCM looks forward to many people being able to unmask, uncover, and unveil themselves on the podcast. Thank you for watching and joining us. Hey, everybody. Hey, Bliss girl.
Hey, Miss, how are you?
I'm good. How are you now that we live?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very, very good. Excited and looking forward to that.
Good. I'm so happy to have you on. Sorry you guys for being a little late. We was having some technical difficulties. That's just what it is. We already know these computers, this technology stuff. Sometimes it has a mind of its own, and it do what it want to do. But we here. All right, hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm I'm behind the scenes too. So I do behind the scenes, I do in front of the scenes. I'm doing it all. Right. Okay, so we good. We all good. We all squared away. All right, I got it. So the time is finally here. We was talking backstage before I hit the go live button. I'm like, oh my goodness, Bliss, we finally like really here. We was just talking in the summertime.
Finally, like it was a very, very long time ago, but it just came on very quickly. And I'm really excited. I've been excited, but I'm more excited today.
Yes, I'm super excited, right? Because first of all, Bliss is the real MVP, right? Because it's 2:30 in the morning. No, what is 2:37, right? In the morning where she is,
Yeah.
right? UTCM is international because Bliss lives in South Africa.
Yes, South Africa. It's actually the 12th of January on my side. It's the 11th on your side, right? Yeah, so
Right.
it's the 12th of January.
It's the 12th on your side, right?
Right.
So, oh my goodness, it was funny because yesterday we were talking, and I'm like, I didn't think about all that. I said, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I didn't realize that it was going to be that early in the morning for you, but it's a good time for me. So I appreciate your willingness for coming on. Nothing but amazing. I think you gave me a little lesson yesterday. So you're on the continent of Africa, but you live in the country of South Africa.
In South Africa. Africa is the continent, and then South Africa is the country in Africa.
Got it. Wow. So it's crazy how we ended up being to connect. So we were actually connected through I consider him like a brother. I went to high school with him. I graduated with him. Raphael Gordon. He has his own publishing company, which is called Madison and Park Global, I believe. And he had reached out to me in the summertime, and had told me that, he had a few upcoming authors, that he feels that would be, really good, to come on and share their story and share their truth on, my podcast. So I said, sure, let me, chat with, a few of them to see, how they feel and all that good stuff. And Bliss was the first one that responded to the email. We were we actually connected first, and immediately, like, on our video, we were in tears, our video chat, and then we just became connected ever since. We've been texting. We got, because it's international, so I gotta use WhatsApp. I'm like, wait, I can't text you. I can't just call you. I got to use the app. So we've been using WhatsApp to communicate and talk. But it's been kind of like this divine connection that has just been so warming and so great. Bliss just has a beautiful personality, warm spirit, kind heart, very gentle too as well. Like, we were behind the scenes and I'm like, Bliss, I can't hear you. She's like, I'm talking. Her voice is just so soft. It's just so sweet. But her story is definitely amazing and impactful, and what she is trying to do too as well, to bring change. So I just appreciate your willingness. So yeah, so thank you. So, I could brag about you, right? But it's all about you. So I need you to kind of brag a little bit about yourself, right? Tell the people, because you are all the way over in South Africa, right? So, us over here, we don't really know Bliss. So tell us a little bit about Bliss. Brag about yourself.
Um, yeah, my name is Bliss. Bliss actually means perfect happiness. So that's how I aspire to, live my life on a daily basis, just to be happy and blissful, and also rub it on to the people around me. I'm a young mother, a proud single mother of three beautiful children. Um, I like to mention them always because they are also a definition of me. So yeah, I'm a poet, a performance poet. Poetry is actually my first love. It's how I feel. It's how I live. I breathe. I live poetry actually. I'm an author. I'm soon to be published through the Madison and Park Agency. And I've also been connected to Ra for quite a while. He's been supportive and hands-on throughout the whole project. So yeah, I'm just a lover of kids, and every project that I wish to embark on as mostly for children to uplift and upbring the children of South Africa, and hopefully do it internationally also, because most kids need the support that a lot of people are not aware of. Yeah, so Bliss is simply a mother who just wishes to, mother all the kids around her if she can.
I love it. I love it. She's just so warm and sweet. You just want to give her a hug. I love it. I love it. So I always ask, all my guests. Oh, forgive me, y'all, too. Hey, everybody. I don't know if I said hey, but I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna say it again. Welcome to season 4, episode 1. Yeah, season 4. When I was typing it um in the comments, on the comments, on the flyer, I'm like, I've been doing this for 4 seasons. That means I've been doing this for 4 years. I'm like, wow. Woo, growth. Yeah. So welcome everybody. Again, thank you so much for whoever is coming on, whoever will come on. I just appreciate the love, the support. It's been nothing but amazing. This journey has not been an easy journey. But it has definitely been a necessary journey. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful for all my guests, for all my supporters, everybody. You guys are just so dope, so dope. I love it. And and my shirt, I just want to give shout out to my Sheen. Sheen is my favorite. What, be real, not perfect, right? So that's the theme for tonight too, right? Just be real. You ain't got to be perfect. Just be real, right? All right. So now we got that out the way. Bliss, right? So I love that name too, Bliss. I asked all my guests, right, how did they feel about the questionnaire, right? So I want to ask you, how did you actually feel about the questionnaire that I had sent to you to answer for this episode?
Um, the questionnaire was Okay, before I get to that, can I just say hi to one of my friends? He just
Yeah.
commented, like he stayed up. Yeah, I see him. He stayed up with me all night, just to
Oh,
be here. So yeah, he's been very supportive. He's a prayer partner also. So hi,
mm.
Kawela.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you for tuning in. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Dope.
the questionnaire for me was like, I don't know if I should say um a therapy also. It felt like I
Mm,
was, opening up to someone, but and in text. So it was more therapeutic to me than, just a set of questions. So I really like enjoyed going through it, and yeah, it was very therapeutic for me.
that's good because it also right it speaks to because you had mentioned about you being a poet right and you mentioned that you find comfort in words right
Mm,
so it's just something about writing out right what you're feeling um
mm.
it is definitely therapeutic. That's why writing is good. Journaling is good, right? Because it allows you to get it out of you. Um, so when you had said that, in the questionnaire, I really related to that because I remember for so long, people telling me well, not people, my spiritual father will always tell me, write it out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And then when I began to start really writing what I was feeling, yeah, there's a sense of just like comfort and and healing and just allowing yourself and freedom like there's freeness when you really write it out and get it out of you.
Yeah, it gives you a very satisfying sense of relief. Yeah, it's a therapeutic also. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely. 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 So I've been doing something new. I started something last podcast episode, which was last month. So one of the questions it asks you to describe yourself using 3 words, right? So I decided to maybe start to take one of the words that my guests put in their questionnaire and look up a quote, right? And kind of say what the word that they say, what that word means in a quote, right? If that makes sense. Get your words together, Nisha, right?
Okay.
So one of your words was strong. And immediately I thought of strength, right? I thought of the word strength. So I wanted to just read this quote because this is what I thought about with you when I read your 3 words. What was one of them was strong. So the word is strength, right? There is beauty in failure, but also courage and strength. The fear and regret that follows failure isn't meant to make you quit. Instead, falling down gives you a moment to reflect on what went wrong, who to trust, and how to find strength, even when you feel your weakest. Keep going, Bliss. These times will test your strength, but never break you.
That's very powerful. That's very powerful.
Yeah, so I
Like
thought I thought about that.
I
The word strength, the word strong, just automatically I just equate strength to it.
mm, because like the for me to like actually start using like the word to describe myself. A lot of times I felt like defeated. I felt defeated a lot of times, and people would actually, come up to me and say, for you to have gone through what you've gone through, for you to actually be going through what you're going through, and are still able to spend beautifully as and healthy as you are a very very strong person. So it took quite some convincing to actually take the word and define myself.
Right. Right. And really kind of like own it, right? Or not even
Yeah,
own it, but maybe even believe it.
yeah, because believing in it, you actually have to believe it before you can actually own it. So for me to actually define myself. I had to start believing in myself and believe that I'm a really, really strong person. So yeah.
Right, for you. Right, for you. I definitely agree with that. And that's kind of like a good like segue because you did mention to defining yourself without anyone's validation. Right? So kind of just
Yes.
speak to that. Like what does that really mean, for Bliss? Like when you felt that you needed to be validated.
You know, sometimes it's like being uncomfortable in your body. You always seek affirmation and validation from people when you're wearing. I'm going to give this example. Say you're wearing a beautiful outfit, but still you feel like you're not beautiful, and you have to go to someone and ask them, "Do I look good in this?" And then they say yes. Still, you don't believe it. You go to the next person, "Do I look good in this?" So until you are able to look yourself in the mirror and accept and embrace yourself, embrace your physicality, that's it's going to take you seeking validation from people. So as soon as you accept yourself and love yourself, and then people's opinions really would not be something that defines you, but something that just complements you.
And would it could you speak to like when you had a moment like that, like when you said, you know what, you looked at yourself and you said, you know what, I'm no longer going to live, just to be existing. Like I'm going to live in my truth. Like what did can you like identify a moment when you really like felt like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this no more. Like I'm stepping up and I know who I am.
It's crazy how I started doing that as was the first time I actually performed my poetry to a crowd on stage. I realized that I had been, denying myself to live my dream and not just be a silent writer, but to actually give to people what I love doing and what I am. So that's when I actually found the true definition of my work, being a poet and also being able to perform in front of people. So that sort of uncovered more things that I was able to do. So poetry, and then I was able to start writing books for children, and then also, start programs for young children. Things that I've always wanted to do but couldn't do because there was this one thing I didn't do, and that was just me performing my beautiful work to people and then sharing it, and some of it would actually heal a lot of people because I don't just write to heal myself. Sometimes I write because I see someone going through something, and then I share my work with them, and it's actually able to like shed light into their lives and actually heal them.
That's good. That's good. That's good. hmm. So you also, I feel like this is a good time, right? So I've been asking myself this question for the past, I feel like, week or so, ever since we kind of came into 2024. If you can summarize your year of 2023 in one word, what would that one word be for you?
Testing.
What was it, Bliss? I didn't hear you.
The word would be testing.
Testing.
Yes. I feel like I
Mm,
was tested. Yeah, I was tested a lot during 2023. I went through I went through so much in a very short space of time that I believe I was being tested, and that's when the strong woman in me had to step up and say, I'm winning no matter what.
and if you could, so that's a good word. Um, right? And my word is grace, too. But if you could speak to, a time when you did feel tested, like, you know what I'm saying, and you had to kind of tap into unmasking and uncovering and unveiling that test. Just speak to a time of what that actually looked like for you.
Um, uh, I think it was a point where I felt like things are not working out, so I should just give up and throw in the towel.
Mm.
So I really felt like giving it all up. There was a point I remember speaking to this one friend of mine and just asking him, you um
It's okay if you
if
need
he
to get
knew
emotional, Bliss. It's okay. You're in a safe space.
so yes, I broke down mentally and being, when you're a mother, you just you have to have a sort of a timetable. When you want to cry, you just can cry in front of the kids. So I had a really huge mental breakdown last year, and I couldn't just let it out throughout the day. So I had to like wait until it was late at night so I can just cry it out and try to heal through crying. But when crying didn't work, I remember asking this friend of mine if he knew of a like mental institute that I could check into so I can try to find time away from home and everything and actually heal at the space. But then what he did was he asked me a very like important question. If you go now and you go and find your healing, how are you going to heal away from your children? How are you going to be okay not knowing how your kids are and who's really taking care of them at home and how are they taking care of them? So I had to like step out of me telling myself that I'm not okay mentally and actually like pray hard about it and then just step out of the not being okay space and be better. So it took a few months for me to like actually heal from the the trauma that actually caused me into breaking down mentally. But eventually,
Mm,
because of the support of my friends and the prayer and their prayers and them just being there for me, I was able to get out of that space and I'm a much better person now. I don't cry like I used to. I don't break down like I used to. And the year has actually been great for me. So um,
that's
the
good.
greatest test was the greatest test last year was on my mental health.
Mm, that's good. And sometimes, that's hard to be honest about that, right? Because you don't want people to look at you a certain way, or because like you said, everybody always called you strong, right? So not really wanting to feel like you're weak or whatever the case may be, but being able to identify and acknowledge, like, I need help. Like, this is not this is not good. This is not a good feeling of what I'm feeling. And being willing to say, all right, like, I'm reaching out and I need some help. And it just reminds me of my podcast guest last month too. She, we talked about grief, right? And like, when you go through something traumatic, my spiritual mother always says that grief, it'll wait on you, right? And so that's just like, when you're dealing with something, when you deal with trauma, right? And you stuff it and you pack it, and you not when you deal with it, when you go through trauma, and then you stuff it and you pack it, and then you don't deal with it, right? Eventually, you're gonna have to deal with it. Eventually,
yes,
it's just a matter of you being willing to deal with it, right? But also, with seeking out for help. I am an advocate of therapy, like for real, for real. Everybody need a therapist. Everybody need
yes,
to
we
tap
all
in.
do.
And then you also need those accountability people too, like those prayer partners, those friends, those people that are really, you know what I'm saying, like they'll have your back, when you need them. um and a no judgment zone,
Yes,
being able to be in a no judgment zone, for real. So I'm proud, um that you were willing to be honest, to say that I needed help. And that was a good word too. Test it, for real. Somebody else, I think I was talking to somebody earlier, and they had mentioned the word transition, like they're in transition too as well. So yeah, I feel like, because sometimes it can be so wordy, but if you could just like summarize it in just one word, it's like, oh yeah, test it. So yeah, that's yeah. So I mean, listen, and we're connected too now. So we pray for each other.
yes, definitely, definitely.
Definitely praying for each other. So you did also too, you talked about forgiveness, right? And forgiveness being freedom. And the crazy thing is, I was like, Bliss, I don't even really have to ask her this question. She already answered it. So I usually ask, my podcast guests too as well, if you could forgive yourself for something. No, if you could speak to your younger self, what would you say to your younger self? Right. So you wrote something, right? But I want you to kind of speak to what you wrote. So in this moment, right? Speaking to the younger Bliss, what would you say to her?
Well, I have so much to say to my younger self. So
We got
I
time.
may not even I may not even touch on what I said on the questionnaire. What I would say to my younger self, you did your best. You did all that you did because that is what God put in you. Because as a as a younger person, I felt like I was, adulting, and instead of just, like living my young days, enjoying my youth and everything. So I feel like nothing was me having taken the adult role, wasn't my youth being taken away from me, but it was what God had put in me, and I had to like give it to the world and everybody else who was benefiting from it. So to my younger self, I would just say I'm proud of you for being, the responsible and caring person that you were towards each and every individual, and taking away so much time from yourself, just to be there for everybody else. It wasn't you taking away your youth from yourself, but just being the beautiful and loving, caring person towards the people who needed you the most. And then now that you were able to do that in your younger days, you are now able to take care of yourself and the beautiful children that you're raising. So I'm really proud of the person that I I was when I was young.
I love it. I love it. I'm proud of you too.
Thank you so much.
I'm proud of you too. When is so you are your book, right? We did speak about your because you're publishing a book, but talk about what book are you actually publishing?
Okay, currently the book that is under. publishing process with Madison and Park is the book I wrote on. Um, it's very close to my heart actually. It's the book I wrote on the early start of menstruation
Mm.
because it was motivated by my first daughter. She was 8 at the time, and she's 11 now. She's actually sitting with me in the room. She's awake.
Oh,
Um,
she's up too. Oh, look at everybody supporting you. That's amazing.
and, like it makes me so emotional because she was quite young. She was quite young when she started her period, and a week after that, I decided, "Hey, you know what? Because I know the community that I'm from. I know like the parents that are raising the children where I'm from. Some of them would not be as open to, relaying the education to their children and just being supportive and caring. So I decided to compile a booklet on the early start of child menstruation. It's sort of a guide as to what to expect, like
Mm,
period pains, cramps, cravings, mood swings. It doesn't only teach the child, it also teaches the parents because some parents are not aware of the fact that when you're on your period, you actually like experience mood swings and cravings. And the kids are still young, so we have to take care of such things for them. So it teaches the girl child like how to hygienically take care of herself during a menstruation and also how to put on a pad, how to expose of a pad. So upon writing the book, I decided that you know what, I can't just write the book and say the book is in store, you can go and buy it. I decided to like use it as part of a literacy drive. So as soon as the book comes out, um, me and my team, I have put together a team. I have successfully registered an NPO under the name My Blissful Period because My Blissful Period is the title of the book. So as soon as the book is out, we'll be running a drive, going from primary school to primary school, relaying the education, teaching the children what is actually inside the book so that when they take it home, they will have a sort of an idea of what is happening within the book. And also how I would have loved to, you know, relay the whole drive. I don't just want to give the child a book, but I would um be happy if the book would also go with a packet of pads and also a packet of sanitary wipes so that the child would have something with the book and not just the book. But
right.
something very important came up before, like when I was going to the local schools, um, introducing the whole idea, the literacy drive idea. The teachers were most concerned about the inability of the children, to like read and also read with an understanding. So while I'm waiting for the book to be finished, the publication, I'm going to embark on a reading program for kids
Mm,
for children in primary schools because a lot of them are struggling. We do like two languages in the schools. It's the home language and then it's the English language. So my
okay.
team and I will be focusing on teaching them how to read so that when the book is out and they get the book, they'll be able to read and not just look at the pictures within the book. So the reading program should be starting a week after the schools open to actually assist the kids with reading, and then when the book comes out they'll be able to understand what is actually entailed in the book.
Wow. So is it going to be in both languages? Is it going to be in your language and English, or is it just going to be in English?
For now it's going to be in English because
Okay.
what they're doing there, they're trying to like make English the like language of communication within the schools. So
Oh,
I
really?
think it's yes, if I give it out in English, then it's going to be better for everyone.
Wow. So, okay, so in your school, in the school system, you grew up the same way, like when you went to school, you learned your language and then also English too as well?
Yes, yes, that's what's been happening for a very long time. So right now, I think they're trying to like phase out the home language and just use the English language within the schools because it's a it's a it's a huge struggle, especially when you get to high school. A lot of children are not able to um you know express themselves in the English language because we we having we're having teachers who would just not teach English in English. They just use the home language, to explain what is required of the child during the English period. So I think that's why they're trying to phase out the home language and just use English throughout.
Okay. And what is considered to be your home language? What's the language called?
We have in South Africa we have 9 official languages, English included. Is it nine? It's 11. Yeah, it's 11. 11 official languages. Now
Wow.
I speak Setswana. So if you were to refer to me, you'd say Ke Motswana because I speak Setswana.
Wow. You're giving me a
And you'll
whole
see it.
lesson.
Yes, you'll even hear some of my poems I use English and a bit of Setswana. That's my style of writing.
Wow. That's
Mm.
amazing. And I didn't realize. So I think it was one day last week when I had met with one of the administrators at my job, because I was interested in like volunteering. They call it like a business resource group, and they have different ones within my hospital. But one I was really kind of like really had my eye on. It's kind of stemming around women, right? But she was mentioning that, in the high schools, a lot of young girls, like, they don't know, how to really care for themselves when they begin their menstrual. And just not having the education and the knowledge. And immediately when she said that to me, I thought about, your book and the awareness that you were trying to bring, to your country, right, and in the school system within your country too, as well. And usually, when something like that is so near and dear to our heart, is right, because things that we have experienced too, right. So the reason why you decided to write this book was because of the experience that you had, right, when you actually started your menstrual, right. Do you mind sharing that story?
Um, no, I don't mind actually. Like I've shared this before, ne? So, um, like I said, I even like included a mini paragraph on that. When I started my period, the only education I got was, you see, now that you've started your period, you have to stay away from boys. And I wasn't taught how to put on a pad, what to expect, during menstruation, the cramps, the pains, and everything. So I need, being a mother to a girl myself, I needed to change that for my daughter. I needed to change the whole narrative of, people thinking because you've started your period, you're going to fall pregnant. There's a lot that comes with menstruation. Some even experience like severe bleeding. Some would experience severe period pains. Those are the more important things to look at. Those are the more important things to teach a child. So what I didn't learn, what I wasn't taught, I made it a point that I'm going to teach it to my daughters and to all the other young girls out there.
Good, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's needed. Right. I didn't even realize that it was really like a, I guess like an, I don't want to call it an issue, but like there's some challenges around that, and and young girls really just not knowing, right, because that's not my story. I didn't have that issue, and I didn't really have friends around me too that had that issue either. But like I said, when the administrator was talking to me, she was just like, yeah, because it's just crazy how we have these young girls, they don't know about pads, they don't have no pads, they're having accidents on themselves, like it's just so I didn't even realize that it was, you know what I'm saying, a bigger issue than what it, because I just never experienced, I didn't have that experience.
Mm.
But
Because
that's
normally,
good.
like, to
No,
be
I'm sorry.
able to like, no problem, to be able to like bring a solution to something, sometimes you just need to have gone through it, and you know that's something I went through and then was able to say this is not going to happen to my daughters. This is not going to happen to, because it touches me not when my daughter is hurting, also when other children are like outside of home are hurting, it touches me a lot when I'm looking to like just, if I could mother every child in the world, I would, but whoever I'm able to like touch and help, I'm just open and willing to do that. And then I feel like my edge and my desire to just touch, mother every child in the world will be done through will be done through this book. So that's why I'm really excited, and as soon as the drive hits it's, the ground, it's going to be so beautiful and like so beneficial to a lot of young girls.
Yeah. And because of what you went through, right, and it goes with that saying, you go through to bring others through. So
Yes,
yeah, that's amazing. You should be very proud of yourself, bringing something to your community, not even just your community but to your country, right, that awareness of what is needed, for the younger ones that's coming up behind us.
yes, definitely.
That's good. That is really, really good. I don't know why. I just feel like I want to hear one of your poems. Do you have, especially the one that you wrote about in your because that was also your hashtag, which I'm not going to let you get away without saying your hashtag too as well. But the poem, you titled it self-respect. Right, and you
So
said that it
yes,
gave you a sense, like a new sense of purpose. Right. Um, do you have
mm,
that poem on you?
yes, I actually have it. I actually have it. When I wrote this poem, I it's like I was I don't know if I should say redefined, like a new sense of, and it came funny to me. I was busy washing dishes and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of like pitying myself and just allowing people to walk all over me whenever they feel like it's right. And I just
Mm,
instantly let go of all the negativity and just, you know, I'm not one to, tell people off when they offended me or like, go off on people. I don't do that. I just, I forgive and then I just let things slide. So this poem it was me just, saying I forgive everyone, but I'm going to focus on bliss. Bliss is more important than, everybody else, because if I don't put myself first, then I won't be able to care for others also. So yeah,
that's good.
it's
That's
beautiful
good.
actually. It's one of my best. It's one of my best.
Okay, well, we
Um,
all ears. I want to hear it.
so it's titled self-respect, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes, the day I picked up courage to stand up from the table at which respect was not being served. was the day I realized the true meaning of my name, Bliss. The chair on which I sat was cushioned quite comfortably. I was convinced I was sitting at the right table. The cutlery was made out of gold, or at least I thought so. Until on the day I stood up from the table, I realized the cutlery was actually gold plated. Bari usibonito laboratory. The table itself was made out of glass. See through, I could actually see through the glass what was happening beneath the table, but I chose to ignore it. Akerebari, ignorance is bliss. Oh, bliss was ignorance, surely. Lina Lebeseromo. I watched, I observed as I sat on the opposite side, the receiving end, the lies, the deceit, the betrayal, the abuse, misuse, disuse, the disrespect. Oh, it all tasted like your traditional seven-colored Sunday lunch without the colors, without the oil and the seasoning. The presentation was foolingly beautiful until it hit me. Uh-uh. No, me. I know how to cook. I do not eat with my eyes. That is when I stood up from the table at which respect was not being served and began to set my own.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. So we already know now what her what was your do you remember what your hashtag was, Bliss?
Self-respect.
So we already know
Is that
everybody.
correct?
Everybody drop
Self-respect, yes.
hashtag self-respect in the chat. Self-respect. So that just reminded me, like
Okay,
when
I
you
need to
even
like
said
clear a few things.
what you say, Bliss. I didn't hear you.
Okay, there's a few parts that I need to clear on the poem because there was a bit of Setswana that I added, ne? So there's a part a bari o se bone to elaborate, ne? So that statement means a person can be beautiful on the outside, but you know, be ugly on the inside, ne? And there's a
Mm,
part bari lina lebesero, um whatever you were named is how your life is going to turn out. So bliss, but it says ignorance is bliss. So I became ignorant because I was named ignorant, and ignorance, means bliss. And
mm,
yeah, those are the parts that I needed to clear out. I hope it makes sense.
wow. No, it
I just get
does.
too I just
I
get
love
too
it.
excited when it comes to sharing my.
Yeah, because it's your story, it's your truth, right? And you live through it. You living through it. Right. And that's one thing no one can take, no one can take that from you. Right. And it just
Yes,
speaks to that you decided to choose you. Like I choose me. I choose me.
yes, I chose, and I chose me, and I put myself first, and I started respecting myself. So not taking any nonsense, any disrespect from anyone.
Right. Because you love yourself.
Too much, too much.
No, it's never too much. You can never love yourself too much.
Like 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 in South Africa, the expression "too much" is more of an affirmation. And you're like, I love myself too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's sort of an expression, to affirm, or you know what, this is actually how I feel. Too much. I love myself too much.
Oh, look, you taught me something new. And this is it. We international. I love myself too much. I love myself too
Too
much.
much.
I love myself too much. That's my new.
Yeah,
That's my new. I'm gonna write it on my mirror. I love myself too much.
yes.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, goodness, goodness. So, all right, before we leave, right, again, I do want to thank you so much for your willingness. Again, it is what now, 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, 3:34.
Yeah, it's 3:24 now.
So, again, I want to thank you for your willingness. This has definitely taught me something. Like Naisha, if you're going to be doing stuff with people from other countries and internationally, you probably want to educate yourself a little bit. So it was a life lesson learned for me, but I still appreciate, your willingness. It's amazing to have you on, and I know you said that you share the same excitement, but um yeah, this was beyond what I even imagined. I never even imagined having someone on from another country at all. Never even thought it was possible. So this shows me that all
Actually,
things are possible.
yes, yes.
All
Thank
things.
you, thank you so much for having me. Like I've been looking forward to this. Even if like it happened at 12 a.m., I would also like I'm coming. I'm being here. I'm showing up.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
what it is. Showing up. That's good right there. Showing up for real. Even when you don't understand, even when it don't make sense, I'm still gonna show up. Right, and that's the thing right there. So to close out our episode, right? If you can give, say something encouraging to somebody who is watching, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, what would be your encouraging, I guess let's say word. We've been dealing with one words, right? What would be an encouraging word? One word that you could think of that you would want to say to the people.
um can I summarize this into one word?
Go ahead.
I don't know if it's not gonna be one word, but I think the shortest sentence would be put yourself first. Put yourself first. I'm not saying put yourself before God, because I am what I am because He's been so good to me. Or can I say hi V, my friend from I don't know how to pronounce his name. I call him V, but I see he's just commented now. Hey V, I see you and I love you so much, my friend. Um,
Oh, I love it. I
he's
love
a
that
poet.
they're up this late supporting you. That's so dope.
Yeah, like he texted me at 12 and was like, I'm up. I want to see you live. I'm not gonna sleep. So I'm just, I'm
Oh,
just
I
so
love
grateful
it.
for I'm just so grateful for Kauhela, and I love you, Kauhela, like and V also. They've been so supportive, and can I share that V is a very, very phenomenal English, phenomenal poet. He just um published his book of poems. He's 17 years old, and he published his book of poems last year, and
Wow.
it's a yeah, it's a wonderful book. He's speaking of his experience as a young boy who was raised by a single mother, and his at first I thought he was 24 years old. Like his intellect is beyond his age. So I'm
Mm.
just proud of him. I'm proud of him, and yeah.
Congratulations, V.
Yes, so I'm just grateful. Kahala is my prayer partner. If people could get tired of me asking them to pray for me, it should be Kahala, because whenever it's me emotional, even whenever I'm going through something, and I always reach out to Kahala and say, "Bruh, I'm breaking. I need you to pray for me," and he'd be like, I got you," and like he'd
Mm.
consistently um he would he would consistently check on me and to see, to check on my progress, whatever I'm going through. Is it Is it getting any better? Am I seeing results? And it's just been so supportive. I'm grateful to have such a. He's also very young. He's also very young. They're like a very. I feel like they are older men, like in young boys' bodies in because the
Yeah.
way they
Yeah.
attain themselves is so. I'm proud of them actually, and I'm thankful for their support.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes. Before I go, I just needed to quickly share something on the foundation that I registered, the My Blissful Period Foundation. It houses four curriculums. Now it's a literacy drive for the menstruation, the book I wrote on child menstruation, and
Mm-hmm.
followed by a program. I titled the reading program Closing the Gap because I'm looking to close the gap between the teacher, the question paper and the learner. Because once a child is able to read, then they're able to spell and then they're able to, um answer the questions, with an understanding that is the questions that are set on question papers with an understanding, and that ultimately makes the work easier for the teachers. And also, I'm looking to within the foundation, I'm looking to start a poetry academy because there's a lot of young poets who's just been reaching out to me and asking me how do I make this a career? How do I, start living as a and ultimately make a living as a poet? So I think if I am to, start the poetry academy, I could just give them a sense of direction, as to where to go, and they might also get recognition and, actually make a career out of poetry. And then the last one is, this is very close to my heart. It's something that V came up with, and because he's also part of the NPO. It's a mental health curriculum for young boys in high school, especially those
Mm-hmm.
who were raised, especially those who were raised by single mothers, because he upon his research he learned that most men who are in prison, like today, were raised by single mothers. So it's the behavior might be rooted from the fact that their fathers were absent when they were growing up. So we are looking to like tackle that um in young boys while they're still in high school. So we think we can actually, reaching out, we can actually change something in them, and then they can actually understand what when the father leaves, it's not the child's fault.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the curriculum that we will be housing within the foundation,
Now, do you
and I'm really
guys
excited.
like, do you ask for like donations, or like if, let's just say if somebody wanted to donate to one of your foundations or something that you are doing, how are they able to do that?
Okay, we do ask for donations because the NPO is not generating funds, and for stationery, we'll be needing lunch for the children because the program will be running after school in the afternoon. And I've recently I've asked a friend to set up a website for me. So as soon as it's up, I'll share it with you so that you can also share it on my behalf, and then
Okay.
we can get to and start the 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 programs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I will definitely be willing to share because there's an awareness that is definitely needed in the community, especially for the younger generations. Like they need it. They need it.
Mm.
They need it. So I want to thank
Thank you
you.
so.
No, I thank you. I thank you, but I want you to share your, because you was getting ready to share your encouraging word. Um, and then you got you saw your peeps.
Okay. And yes, um, yes, I was gonna say like put yourself first because when you put obviously after God, the person who should come after God is yourself.
Yeah,
Just God has been so good to me that I was able to, through him, I was able to just put myself first and just love myself, care for myself so that I can be able to care for others and just and also like go for what you love in life. I'm the strangest member of this house. I am the artist of this house. I won't call myself a black sheep, no. I just call myself different and I'm going for what I love, no matter how different it is. I know that this is what God has put in me and it's a purpose and I'm serving that purpose purposefully.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, I mean, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you again, Bliss, for being up um with us too on our end. We definitely appreciate you. I appreciate your time, your willingness. It has been nothing but amazing. You've been just super super like just so dope. Like being responsive and just being receptive and just being open. um yeah, so I thank you. I thank you. So UTCM was in South Africa.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to speaking to you over other social platforms. And yeah, we'll definitely be connecting. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, good night, everybody. Everybody be safe. Have a great weekend. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.